Welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to be working on replacing a radiator in this Acura MDX. So this Acura has an issue where the transmission core that's located inside the radiator has sprung a leak and is pushing transmission fluid into the coolant passageways. This is a problem because first of all, you lose all of your transmission fluid and you can't actually move your vehicle. And secondly, oil does not make a good cooling medium. So to fix this problem, I have to completely replace the radiator because the transmission cooler and the regular engine coolant system are integral with each other, which means that there are pipes inside the radiator that help cool the transmission as well as cool the engine. So there's a hole that has developed in one of those pipes and it's pushing the fluid into the coolant system. This is the best case option because what you don't want to happen is the coolant pushing into your transmission, because that could ruin all the bearings in the transmission. I think we got lucky on this and it was caught early enough that that did not happen. So let's get to pulling this apart. The first thing I need to do is I need to remove this top plastic cover piece, because on initial look at it, I believe that the radiator is going to need to come out of this area instead of coming out in the engine bay section. There appears to be a cross brace in the front here, so to get a better look, I need to take this off first. So now I have a better idea of what's going on here, and it appears I do need to take off this front grille section as well so that I can get to the mounting that is holding the radiator in place. Now that I have the front grille piece out of the way, I can see that I will be able to take the radiator out from the front here, but what I need to do is I need to unbolt the AC condenser and the, I'm guessing, steering cooling line. Alright, so I was just very confused for a little bit, and I finally figured out why. Because when I'm looking at this setup in the front, you have radiator, AC condenser, and this should be a transmission cooler, and this down here is steering cooler. So what I didn't understand is how, if it had a separate transmission cooler, how was transmission fluid getting into the radiator? Upon further inspection and looking at the new radiator I got, it appears that the way that Acura has set this up is that the transmission fluid goes into the regular radiator and then it moves into the auxiliary transmission cooler before going back to the transmission. I'm assuming for towing or something like that, but that really threw me for a loop because I'm thinking, all right, how is fluid getting into the coolant system? And that's how it does it. So now that I figured that out, I'll go back to my original plan of loosening up everything in the front here so I can actually get this stock radiator out. And I also need to get the fans out as well. So let's get to it. All right, so it's the next day and I finally got the radiator out of this Acura, and it was quite a event. Let me show you what I had to do. So to get the radiator out, I had to get the fans out because on the bottom of the radiator there are ports for that power steering line over there, plus the radiator hose. So to get those out, I had to have enough room to move the condenser and the radiator forward to get the fans out around this cross member, which of course is not removable, although I think it probably should be. So to do that, I had to get the headlight out of the way because where the headlight sits, the condenser was hitting the edge of the headlight right about there. But to get the headlight off, I had to take the bumper cover off. And once I took the bumper cover off, I then had to take off this bumper cover support and headlight support. So way more involved than I thought it was going to be. I thought I'd be able to just pull the fans right out, get the radiator out, put it right back in. Not the case. Yeah, I have to take apart half the front end to do that. But doing so, I did figure out what was wrong with the old radiator. These ports for the power steering just kind of rusted and fell out of the bottom of the radiator. And I think that's where the leak was coming, the crossover between transmission and coolant to contaminate it. So now that I have that all taken care of, I need to pull out the overflow tank because that is full of milk chocolate as well. So I'll do that while the radiator's out of there and it's easy to get to. But then once I clean that out, I'll be able to put the radiator back in, put the fans back in, start buttoning up this whole mess. So let's get to it. And there you go, she's in. Now for hooking it all back together again. Well, there you go. I finished all the work on the Acura. The radiator is back in, transmission is full, radiator is full, and this Acura runs and drives just like new. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.